A Cuban sandwich isn't just layers of mustard, cheese, meats, and pickles between a sliced length of hot-pressed Cuban bread. It's layers of Tampa history. The origin of the Cuban sandwich is more complex than the creation of Earth. This thing didn't just take 7 days. It took a lot longer. In Key West, Vicente Martinez Ybor started up one of the largest cigar factories, manufacturing his own brand, El Principe de Gales. But in 1886, when the factory burnt down, he moved business to Tampa. This is where Mr. Ybor's city would begin and rise as a prospering Latin community, known as the cigar capital of the world, and an opportunity for Cubans immigrating north. Cuban immigrants were taking their hunger for work into the cigar factories while investing their hunger for lunch into a unique culinary offering. And within time, Ybor City would become comprised primarily of Cubans, Spaniards, and Sicilians. So the next thing you know, the Cuban sandwich included Italian Genoa salami, at least in Tampa.
Salami, which is important because that's part of the Sicilian influence in Ybor City in the early 20th century.
But the key to this treasure is the bread.
The most important is the Cuban bread.
Don't forget the Cuban bread, right.
There's no place else that makes that bread other than La Segunda Central Bakery.
Made since 1915. I showed up here in the early 70s. So after that time, I sort of ran the place until now.
So I remember distinctly being a 4-year-old child in the car with my grandparents and traveling from our home the 30-minute drive or so to get to Ybor City. And at the end of that drive, the reward was fresh baked Cuban bread. And of course, getting back in the car, I would be begging my grandmother, is it okay, is it okay? And she would let me break open the bread, put my little hand inside and pull out that warm, fresh baked dough, and then just eating that. And you know, you smell that bread even today, and it just takes you back to your childhood. It's wonderful.
Right now, we have the capability of making somewhere around 22,000 loaves of bread a day. If we get our full production, people here, that's what we've been making. We're shooting for 22,000 loaves of bread a day. Copeland is the 4th generation. He's the one that has expanded it the most. I mean, when I was here, we were basically a 4-county area in Florida, and he took over and he started expanding, and like I said, Anchorage, Alaska.
So the Cuban sandwich, as we know it, there's a lot of argument between Tampa and Miami.
The sandwich has always been at the tip of some controversy, right? Who made the sandwich first? Where did it originate? What are the original ingredients? Does lettuce and tomato belong on that sandwich, or even mayonnaise? Well, I can tell you that simple is always better. The bread makes the sandwich for those of us that have been eating that sandwich our whole lives.
So there's a lot of argument and discussion of what the original Cuban sandwich is and what is a Cuban sandwich. But Ybor City in Tampa is what really founded the actual Cuban sandwich that America is accustomed to today.
The sandwich itself, which has its origins right here in Ybor City and in Tampa, it just speaks to all of us. It doesn't matter where you travel, it doesn't matter what your life's experiences are. When you come home, you always get a Cuban sandwich. It kind of reminds you of all the goodness of Tampa.